Thank you so much. If we can proceed.
No, thanks, Chair. Good afternoon, colleagues, and good afternoon to the DM. No, I don't have many questions at DM. The first one is that when you were responding to one of the questions earlier on, if I understood you well, and you tell me if I did not understand you well, you indicated that you support, or you were going to support, the disbandment of the PKTT. I'm not sure if I missed it, but if I did, what could be your reasons for that? Is it the same reasons as advanced by the minister, or you've got different reasons, and what are those?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chief Whip, for that. Yeah, you understood me well. I didn't have a problem with the dissolution of the PKTT. In fact, I participated in the deliberations. Where I come from, it's that task teams are task teams. They are there to perform a particular function, and they are there because ordinarily through normal processes we are unable to perform certain functions. Hence the necessity to have this. You had endless killings in KZN which were not being resolved, and a team came that did a good job, comparatively speaking, with what was there. Now, with the discussions that we're having, we said let's restructure SAPS and strengthen it in all capacity so that we're able to respond to the challenges of the day. And one of the issues that we paid much focus on is murder. The murder rate is high in the country. The success rate is very low. Let's strengthen that capacity. Anything to do with murder, it must be dealt with by that unit. We have made of traditional leaders in the country, particularly in KZN, which has reared its ugly head in the recent past. I think Honorable Adams was talking about the number of people killed in the Cape Flats. It's a problem here in Cape Town. But it's not only a Cape Town problem. In Gauteng, it's the same problem. In Eastern Cape, it's the same problem in KZN. These are 4 provinces where we have problems. Now let's create capacity to deal with this problem in these provinces. And we can do so by creating this capability there and reorganizing SAPS so that you have got a division that deals with operational responses. Every day when they wake up is to ensure that there is policing. Areas are stabilized, like your Cape Flats, your Nyanga, Kaelicha, Guguletu, Kabeha, and all other places, Layer, Inanda, in KZN. So we were developing that capacity. It is in that context that one supported the integration of task teams into the relevant units within SAPS. And you are doing that not because these units are failing. You want to bring this excellence in the organization, and it becomes institutionalized in the organization. That is the reason on which we discussed, and we were talking integration of these units into that. That was the thinking and the reasoning that I have on this matter. Hence I say I will support, but the reasons for that was not the same reasons that were written and displayed as the reasons. And I think it's the same reasons that guided us as we appeared before the committee as the department, both the ministry and the administration, where we talked of a phased-in approach on the PKTT.
No, thanks, GM. Now, we have come to understand through the testimonies of the various witnesses who came before us, one of the things that I would imagine or I believe is common, even when they differ on other aspects, is that part of the reasons why the PKTT became a success story is precisely because it was not just a SAPS, a board or a task team, but it was multidisciplinary task team involving various departments. Now, when you decide that you are doing away with it, you are strengthening yourselves internally. How are you going to mitigate the deficiencies that will arise naturally because you will no longer have the NPA on board in a dedicated approach as it was? You will no longer have, which one is it? I think it was correctional services on board in a way that they were. So what is the plan of mitigating what is naturally going to be a deficiency when this thing is made to be a SAPS issue alone?
Yeah, we have what we call JCPS cluster, which is a security cluster, and all the players in the PKTT are part of that. Our approach has been that we must strengthen the work of the cluster in such a manner that operationally, both at a political level and operationally, they work together, because crime permeates the cluster. You have crime that is exacerbated through drugs, for instance, which come from outside the country. They go through our ports of entry, they go through our borders. And border security is the responsibility of the defense. Border security control is the responsibility of BMA, which is Home Affairs. When they commit this crime, some of the players within the criminal world are residences of correctional services, and they plan and execute criminal activities from there. So it is a JCPS problem. But of course, a solution lies in the greater sphere of governance. Hence, we developed a document that is called Integrated Violent Prevention Strategy, which has been adopted by Cabinet in 2022, which talks to the whole of government approach to the fight against crime. Now, this approach and this understanding then led us to come to the conclusion that we must strengthen the work of the JCPS. We must work in collaboration with the relevant ministers to strengthen our ability to do work. When we say we're strengthening your murder and robbery, your detectives, we are not saying you strengthen them in isolation with the collaboration with the prosecution authority. The National Commissioner and the head of the prosecution authority works together. They sit together in the JCPS cluster. They must work together with the head of with the commissioner of the correctional services. They must plan together and execute. Cases that are investigated, there must be dedicated capacity from prosecution that works with detectives, and we must strengthen that. We're going to overcome that shortcoming by ensuring that this works together, because we'll be drawing from that experience that we have had. We have seen the PKTT working. We have seen similar experiences working in DPCI, for example, and for sure this thing is for here. and the detectives, where they work together with prosecution, the cases become manageable and they become effective. I said earlier on that we had a project led by DM Jeffries and myself that dealt with the problems that were in the courts because of the problems of DNA, cases being withdrawn, cases being thrown out. When we collaborated there, it was us collaborating, but the operatives, those who are manning the forensic science laboratory, working together with the detectives and the prosecution, we will then line up cases and make sure that each case that is before court get prioritized until we stabilize the forensic laboratory space, which we did, and it was a successful a project. I can confidently say, Chair, that we don't have cases that get thrown out because of that problem we have dealt with. Challenges are still there, but we'll improve on them. So we were doing this with a full understanding of the need. What we have learned from the PKTT space, we must translate it into the new environment and continue in that regard without compromising that capability that we gained in the course of doing our work.
Thanks, DM. Do you have any recommendations that you may want to make to this ad hoc committee in relation to how the role or roles of the deputy ministers can be enhanced in the performance of their work? Do you have any suggestions? Because you've been a DM now for a few years, and certainly through that period, you've learned, you've experienced certain things. There are things that you might have liked. There are things you didn't like, but there may be things that you believe should be considered in order to strengthen the role of DMs in government. Do you have any suggestions that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I think in my submission there is page 6, item 9, 10, and 11 explicitly talks to that and what we think needs to be done with regard to that particular matter of deputy ministers, so that we don't have a situation where we have what currently is prevailing, and it appears like some members thinking that we enjoy what we are going through. We don't, and I think we can do better in this regard. I will not go into those submission, but I think the Secretariat can pin those up as part of what one recommend should be taken into consideration, because indeed deputy ministers sometimes you find that it depends on who is the minister, and if you are not able to find a way to deal with that, there is a problem. But I must say that I was able to find a way that we could work. It's just that it's unfortunate that we are here and that matter was not yet finalized. But we're working very well with Minister Kunu, and I believe that we can do much better than what we have done currently. I think those are the two issues that the committee should look at, because it's very, very important. The Parliament have got a responsibility to oversee deputy ministers in terms of the Constitution, and I think the Constitution should be. We should revisit the Constitution, given where we have travelled for the past 8 years. We need to tweak that constitution to deal with what becomes a challenge. Like, you say, but why don't you have a deputy minister becoming acting? We must deal with that lacuna, because it's not in our interest to have a situation like that where there is no clarity on what must happen, and then we create a problem for ourselves. Yes, they passed the constitution in 1994, and they didn't envisage that we'll have something like this. But in the course of doing work, you learn that you must also plan for things like this, and it's better if you go within. Today, these people can perform these responsibilities. Of course, it doesn't mean that when you are given this responsibility, you are then going to become a minister. No, you can continue acting on that space while you remain a deputy minister. And when things are cleared, the minister come back, you move on without a problem. I think it will be better if we have something done about that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. That was my last question.
Oh, you deserve it, Chief. Thank you so much. Why do you start, Honorable Mathale?
On a point of clarity, it's a follow-up question. I haven't had a follow-up question since I've been here. Am I allowed? You are allowed. Thank you. Am I allowed, Chair?
Yes, Honorable Mathale.
DM, I think the bigger question here is there a need for deputy ministers?
Yeah.
And then speak to that, and then we can understand the process of, amending the constitution and to take that into account.
Yeah.
But for the majority of South Africans, we don't know, because a lot of our money just goes and deputy ministers are wandering around. So tell us, what role exactly are deputy ministers going to play outside that they should be able to step in as acting ministers if the need arises? Thank you.
No, thank you, Chair, and thanks for the question. I think the deputy ministers have a role to play. It was seen then in '94 when the constitution was crafted that the president will appoint deputy ministers, and they will account to Parliament, and they will be given responsibilities to function. We can say maybe the Constitution is not explicit enough in terms of what they need to do, but a role to play they have. If you look at the ministry that we are talking about, as I said earlier, it's a ministry that is composed of almost 4 departments. And each of them very complex, very difficult to deal with. You need an extra hand. It's necessary to have deputy ministers, Honorable. I'm convinced about that. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Ntuli.
No, I just want to confirm that in the current framework, Minister, at DM, in the current framework of deputy ministers, the performance agreement is the only instrument that you can use to assess the performance of ministers, correct?
Yeah.
So it means currently there is nothing, or there is no authority or instrument that is in place that is being used to assess your performance.
Absolutely, because you need that agreement so that you can then take steps necessary against non-performance by anyone after they've been assigned responsibilities.
Okay, lastly, Chair, when you are responding to the Chief Whip of the ANC, you kept on saying you have a good working relationship with the suspended minister,
Yeah.
Minister Ntuli.
Yeah.
So against which working instrument do you make that determination? Because there is absolutely no framework that creates a synergy between yourself and him. So is it based on feelings, or is based on the performance of your performance as a deputy minister and how he supports the work that he established for you in a performance agreement. So where do you base that?
Thank you, Honorable Member, and thanks, Chair. Why do I say I have a good relationship with him? It's a relationship that I've had with him long before he became a minister. And he came in the space we worked together. The absence of the delegated authority that does not mean the relationship that I have with him is non-existent. It does exist, and I'm referring to that. And obviously, once delegations are given, you can then the issues that you are raising can also come into effect. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Skosana.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, DM.
Afternoon.
Honorable Deputy Minister Mathale.
Afternoon.
I know that some people feel that we've been embellished in a way in the matter of PKTT. And indeed, we had to, if you remember that the term of reference in this matter focus mostly on the PKTT.
Yeah.
Now, in your view, do you think that there's any renaissance, of the PKTT?
There is any?
Renaissance, the revival.
Oh.
That we can as well, because when I hear you earlier, you were saying that perhaps the winding up, it's a good thing. In my view, I don't think it's a good thing. I want to find, out from you whether this PKTT, in fact, because as you know, there's other provinces, there's an outcry in other provinces as well that perhaps they needed to be attended to.
Well, I hear you. Thank you, Chair. I hear you, Honorable Member, and I have no problem with the questions that were asked around this, and you asking the same question
Yes.
in a different way. That's why we are here. I think you'll agree with me, Honorable Member, that if we increase our efficiency and our effectiveness in dealing with murder in the country, and we become effective, if you kill somebody, you get arrested, you get convicted, and throughout the country, there won't be any need for us to talk of a task team, because we will not be having a problem. A problem arises when you have matters that are not resolved. And I think that's what we want to deal with. We want to create the institutional capacity in SAPS to be able to deal with any eventuality that our people are confronted with. If you commit crime, you will be arrested. If you kill, you will be arrested and you will be convicted.
In your view, what was the hindrance? In other words, why you and the deputy minister were not delegated powers as is required by the constitution, that the minister has to give you, he must delegate powers to you?
Well, I felt very strongly that we must engage with the minister and assist them to fully grasp the complexities of the institution that we are dealing with, so that when he ultimately say, let's delegate responsibilities to this DM and that DM, these are the responsibilities we are delegating to. He is fully alive to what he's dealing with. And I think this is what delayed the whole process. And I'm confident sitting here before you, Chair, and members that I think the minister, currently as we speak, he has a fair grasp. He might not be 100% perfect about the workings of the institution, but he has a fair grasp of what needs to be done. And if he is back in office by the end of this week, he will be able to deal with this, which has been outstanding.
I just want to make a follow-up question as well. I'm not going to go back to the issue that you were appointed in July 2024, which means you're almost over a year working with the minister.
Yeah.
You know, I asked this because in a written statement, you indicated that Minister Mkhunu did not consult you or Deputy Minister Mushielo before deciding on the disbandment of the PKTT. But as you know now, that the PKTT formation was not only about the Minister of Police. There were ministries, like my colleague has articulated earlier. In your discussions, if you ever discussed with the minister, did he mention that he's not alone, so he can't take a decision alone on this matter? And did you perhaps as well discuss with the national commissioner, in your meeting with the national commissioner, the minister, and your other colleague about this matter of disbandment, besides the letters of the 31st, you know, as earlier before that?
Thank you, and thank you, Chair. We have had engagements, and that's why when you look at the presentation that we made to the committee that talks to the PKTT and how it must fold its operations, we presented a phased-in approach. And this approach was not necessarily presented by the National Commissioner. We were led by the minister. So Team SAPS was presenting that. And that is our view as far as that is concerned.
You reveal in your statement something very concerning, that you said since the take-up of your role under Minister Mkhunu, you have not been assigned to any specific functions and have been working on some sort of ad hoc. In other words, you work like you are moonlighting. You know, in a simple term, let me put it like that. What do you think is the reason for this? Because surely it cannot be administratively or operational sound that for a year you are still waiting for the minister to delegate powers to you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Member. And unfortunately, we don't have delegated authority, and I've explained why I think that is the case. And the reason being that the minister was familiarizing himself, and I think I can't say now as we speak, he's still familiarizing himself. That's why I'm saying if he comes into office tomorrow, he will be able to start processes to finalize this, because he's fairly clued up with the happenings of SAPS.
Were you forlorn on that? Were you forlorn on that? Were you unhappy about that yourself and your minister?
That we have not delegated authority?
Yes.
Of course, I was not comfortable that I don't have... No. Yeah, so yeah, it's not a good thing. Like I sit here, I say I'm not delegated functions, but I understand where the minister come from. He must understand so that he know what he's doing when he delegate. You can't just delegate without fully grasping the dynamics in the space.
Would you agree that perhaps it was a lack of experience and the capacity which were limited to the Minister Mkhunu in terms of the operational dynamics of South African Police Service?
Well, as I said, he was familiarizing himself, and you can't delegate functions of something you are familiarizing yourself in.
As you said earlier, you've been appointed by the president, am I right?
Yeah.
Have you ever discussed your concern with the president?
Well, the president has delegated the minister to deal with the matter, and the minister was dealing with it. The process he was following was to familiarize himself, and when he has full clarity of what needs to be done, he was going to execute.
So the president might not be aware that you don't have delegated powers. The minister did not do that to you.
Well, I don't think the president is not aware of what is happening. He knows.
So the president might have been briefed about this
Yeah.
matter. Now, let's come to the issue of the arrest of Khumalo. Were you aware in advance about the Khumalo's arrest, including the time, the location, and the manner in which it was going to be carried out?
We are not aware of subjects of investigation and when arrests are made. You only learn after the fact.
You didn't receive any formal briefing on the details of his arrest because, as you know, it is commonly known now that when General Mkhwanazi was here, he was very specific about IDEC, that they are law unto themselves, and there's some rogue elements at IDEC. Do you agree with that assertion?
Well, that is information at his disposal, which I don't have. And secondly, the issue of arrests, we don't get briefed of subjects of investigations. And when arrests are made, we only know about them after the fact. When arrests have been made, people have appeared in court, then we get to know that so-and-so was arrested and he appeared in court.
In your opinion, does the coexistence of IDEC and DPCI not constitute a duplication of roles and responsibility?
Not necessarily, but I think we can do better by integrating our efforts in fighting crime or corruption.
You've been a deputy minister now for many years, I must say.
6 years.
And the experience which you have, which is unused in a way. I'm not saying we are not working daily. Not long ago, we were here. I think a week ago,
Yeah.
and we turn you back because the minister was not here.
Yeah.
The acting minister was not here.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to bother you much about that. My question, because I know the chair is looking at me now to say I must do as others have done, but I want to disappoint him a bit and our members. I won't take time. The issue which I wanted to raise to you, the issue of factions within the South African top echelons at the South African Police Service. You said in your word, you don't think there's any factionalism. Yeah. Am I right?
Yes.
What do you think is the problem? Because we've seen other witnesses here. It was evident that there's a serious problem in the top echelon of South African Police Service.
Of course.
Did you discuss that with the suspended or the special leave minister?
Well, the issues that were raised here that indicates differences, I saw them when they presented here. I know that there was a meeting that the minister convened with the National Commissioner and the DNC's BIA and General Mkhwanazi to try and assist in bridging, making them work together. I'm aware about that. But the issues of factions, as I have explained, you know, when you have 100,000 people, and I'm not saying 3 people, but there are other people, but whoever they are, they don't constitute a significant number of police that are involved in these differences. And as a result, I maintain that the South African police is intact and we don't have factions in the police. You do have individuals who disagree on matters, but I can't subscribe that to factionalism. For instance, if you look at the case in point here, the people that appeared here, they are individuals that have appeared here, not subs, the organization, the institution. So I can't subscribe individuals into factions in subs, and subs is characterized by factions, no. And the issue of our being turned back here, Chair, by the committee, we accepted your ruling in that meeting, but we didn't agree with it, because we believe the committee should have exercised their responsibilities, which was to look at the annual performance plan, which was presented by people delegated to present that responsibility, and it's in line with the Constitution. It's unfortunate that we were made to turn back, which we have accepted, even though we didn't necessarily agree. You remember, I made my comments in that meeting, Honorable Scosan.
Do you agree that the South African Police Service has put this country into opprobrium?
Can you explain that word?
Do you agree that the South African Police Service has put this country into opprobrium? In a simple term, Minister, in a public disgrace, we are shameful today because of that.
Honorable Scosan,
Yes. I'm so sorry, Chair. I'm sorry, Chair.
We communicate with the South African public.
Yeah, no. Hence, I've already said what I was saying, Chair. Sorry for that. Thank you.
They must follow you.
Thank you, Chair. I'm saying, Minister, the South African Police Service has put us into a public disgrace or a shame.
No, that I can't dispute with you. Look, I'm not excited sitting here to deal with what we are dealing with. It's a very painful thing to go through. I never looked forward, Chair, to come and appear before you. But when you called me, I was more than willing and ready to come and account to you. But seeing the minister, the national commissioner, the former minister, the provincial commissioner of KZN, the DNC seated here before you, it is a painful thing for me. I can't watch the screen and really watch it from beginning to an end, because it's very, very painful. I never for a moment envision myself seated and going through what we are going through. Today from 11 o'clock to now, 7 o'clock, we are seated here. This is not what we were elected to come and do. We were elected to serve our people to the best of our ability. And this is not serving our people. So I'm not proud of that.
Ngiyazi ukuthi nesikhethu esiyasazi manje ngifuna ukuyivala ngesikhethu and ngiyazi ukuthi abantu uyabathanda, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And ngiyacabanga ukuthi mhlambe mase ninodwa manikhulumako abantu bekhaya be South Africa babawa ukuthi nibahelebhe ngoba ubugebengu bandile. Ngaba sikahlala njengoba uthi ukuthi from ngo7 ngabe umbereko bawenza ngendlela khona, ngaba sikakahlala. Kwelami ke ngithi ingathi solanka ke noma bangakakunikela umbereko ukuthi uhlehle fanele ngabe ura kanjani, mara umbereko kuyakhombisa ukuthi umbereko usawuthanda ngendlela uziphatha ngakhona nangendlela sinibona ngakhona, noma mhlambe ivekele yake and I think kwaba ngimi omunye othi mani ngiba ukuthi nijike nizange naphatheka kuhle, mara lokho asikwenzi ngoba kupersonal, sikwenza lokho ngoba sithanda isichaba sekhethu. Ngamanye amagama ngithi sithokoza kakhulu engqongqoshe isikhathi sakho sokuthi usiphe namhlanje ukuthi ukhone ukuthi sisombulule imthlago le abantu abanayo. Ngoba uyabona kubulawa abantu eMamelodi nje kubulewe abantwana abancane. into ziningi ezenzakalako ephasina ezingakalungi. Ngamanye amagama ngithi ngathi nibuyela noma sisahleli la ku ad hoc committee umbereko ungajami. Ngoba makujama umbereko kuphupha abantu. Ngalawo magama ngithi man chebe chairperson nami angifuna ukuba ngicede isikhathi njengoba usibawile ukuthi namhlanje ufuna ukuchayisa afrokhwanyana ngiyanithokoza.
Thank you for those words. We hear what you are saying. That is exactly what we are committing ourselves to do through you, Chair. We will continue to serve as you continue grappling with the issues that are before you. And the policemen and women out there, they are doing their work. As we speak here, they are working. They are in their respective stations and will continue hosting the flag of SAPS high despite the challenges. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The hand of Honorable Mathale is up.
Can you imagine on your day-to-day Deputy Minister, I have 2 follow-up questions. It hasn't happened since we started this committee. So mine is on your defense on why the Portfolio Committee did not take the annual reports. Deputy Minister, you were there representing what? Because you've just told us that you have no designated responsibility. So who was going to answer on behalf of the ministry officially? We take our jobs very serious in the Portfolio Committee. And also the National Commissioner was not there as the accounting officer. So whether the ministry was ready to report or not is not the issue. Whether you are ready to account officially.
Yes.
You weren't. Do you agree? Thank you, Deputy Minister. He agrees. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for that comment. As we said in our presentation here, that were delegated responsibilities from time to time. So the new minister came in. We are working on the delegation. We will be delegated. But that day, I was officially delegated by the acting minister to lead the delegation, and I was together with the Deputy National Commissioner, General Musikidi, also mandated, and we had a full complement of all the relevant officials who were going to talk to the budget. So we're ready from the executive and from the accounting officer side with the full mandate, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, SC.
Thank you, Honourable Chair, Honourable Members. Honourable Deputy Ministers, just 2 aspects. Can we assume that the President has appointed 2 Deputy Ministers to assist the Minister because of the size of the police portfolio? It is one of the biggest. I'm not sure whether it's one of the biggest.
Yes.
Not sure what the biggest is.
Yes.
One of the biggest in our administration.
Yes.
And must be one of the most important portfolios.
Yes.
You accept that?
Yes, I do.
So in other words, it's a big portfolio, too big for one person to handle.
Absolutely.
That's why he gets 2 deputies.
Yes.
And he has to assign, in terms of the Constitution, and you have it on at paragraphs 9, 10 and 11 of your statement.
Yes.
To assign, it says, deputy ministers appointed are accountable to Parliament
Yes.
for the exercise of their powers and the performance of their functions.
Yes.
So you account for the powers and functions assigned to you by the minister.
Yes.
So a question which I think has been floating around for most of this afternoon, but I believe we're just skirting the issue.
Yes.
Because if you do appear before the Portfolio Committee on Police, because you haven't been assigned any powers or functions, you can't account for anything.
in the absence of powers not delegated, when you come to appear before the committee, like it happened 2 weeks back, SC, I had the mandate from the acting minister to represent the department with full authority.
That's different from having been assigned powers in terms of the constitution of Prime Minister Mkhunu.
Of course. I
So
agree.
Minister Mkhunu has been constitutionally delinquent in more than a year later not assigning you any powers or functions. Can we accept that? Apart from the excuses that you've made for him for not doing so.
Yeah, look, I can't say he has he has been a constitutional delinquent. I can't say that. But of course, the constitution says that must happen.
Now it hasn't happened.
It hasn't
What else can be the reason or the excuse?
The reason I gave is that he was familiarizing himself with the institution so that he can then execute this responsibility.
But with respect, Deputy Minister, it applies the other way around. I would have thought someone, unlike Becky Tele, here's a brand new minister, I would, on the very first day, say, DM Mathale, you've been around the block. I'm going to give you X, Y, Z, and even more than what you normally get. Until I'm comfortable in the job, and I will withdraw those powers and assume it myself. And I become not the other way around.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Now this is a serious issue.
Yeah.
Because or rather when you were serving with Pele, if you look at the delegation at the back of your statement, the police portfolio committee can really only ask you about program 1, police administration, not quite sure what that is. Public entities coordination, reporting to the Minister of Police.
Yeah.
That might be important because you're dealing with entities like Transnet and a situation at the ports, which is very worrying. The establishment of Detective Trading Academy, as important as it is to develop our police in the context of what you're talking about, and not really relevant. Educational and rural safety programs, again, important to engage all our people throughout the country, including the rural areas. And then women and youth development programs.
Yeah.
Those are the powers and functions, or the functions that's been allocated to you.
Yeah.
Now, for more than a year, you've had nothing. And when you come before the portfolio committee, you can give one of two answers. You can either be a general sort of like a GP. You can comment on everything and anything without any authority. Or you can actually say, sorry, to the portfolio committee, I don't have anything to say because I haven't been allocated any powers or functions. So do you agree it's an unacceptable state of affairs?
I do agree, SC.
Now, the last aspect is just the whether the IMC still exists or not. Former Minister Pele told us that he had sight of the delegated functions given to Minister Kubai, who's our Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development. And one of those functions include serving on the IMC. And this was put to Minister Mkhunu, and he could obviously not dispute it. Can you dispute it?
Of course, if that's the case, I can't dispute it because I don't have sight of that.
So we have the situation where a current member of the cabinet for Justice and Constitutional Development serves on the IMC. They may not have been convened yet. And it may, again, be the fault of Minister Mkhunu, who still seems to be familiarizing himself with how the police works. Or it could be that it's just not been in his interest to do so. But we don't have to, you don't need to give an answer.
Yeah.
The other reason why it exists is we know a budget has been approved by the National Commissioner, I think a much reduced budget. I think initially Mkwenazi requested 97 million and Dampani intervened and said, look, you know, we don't have money, we need to be alive to the budget, and allocated 20 million. But it's until March 2026. So one would be surprised that the task, the PKTT is in existence until at least March next year, but there's no IMC to whom they should actually be accounting. Thank you, Deputy Minister. Thank you very much for your time, your cooperation, and we appreciate your attendance. Thank you, Honourable Chair.
Yeah, no, thank you, Chair. Just one follow-up question. When the DM says the minister is still familiarizing himself with the institution or with the organization, where does he get that from? Where do you get that from at DM? Did the minister ever engage you? Did he ever make any indication to you to say, guys, I'm busy familiarizing myself, and in due course, I will delegate responsibilities to you? Or we are just assuming?
No, it's not an assumption. That's what he did indicate, that as soon as he's ready, that will be done.
Did he give you a time frame to say, within this period, the delegation framework will be ready?
No.
He didn't?
No.
Okay, no, thank you, Chair.
Chair, if I may. Was this in writing or it was verbal?
No, it was not in writing.
Okay, thank you.
Your microphone is still on. Do you still want to continue? Okay. Thank you so much, honorable members, SC and your team, the DM, the honorable DM, and the staff of parliament, members of the media who are still here with us. I want to thank you, honorable members. Today you have shown the quality of interactions that the quality of our interactions are the ones that make us to succeed. We have finished within record time today, Honorable Mathale. 21 minutes after 7. We received the witness this morning, led evidence, and fielded questions in one day, in less than 8 hours, from 11 o'clock up to 7. Well done. This is the best team ever that I have fielded. Thank you so much. We are going to have a committee meeting on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. I think the invitation has been served to members. DM, we want to thank you so much for having created time to come and spend a day with us here. We would have loved to continue with you tomorrow, but my honorable members tell me that their questions are depleted. So we want to apologize for the day that you would have budgeted in anticipation that you were going to be with us here. So for any inconvenience that would have been caused on your part, we profusely apologize for that. Are you struggling to raise your hand, or are you successfully raising your hand?
And
Because I
raise
want
my
to,
hand when- just
I want
before
to,
you close.
I want to close the meeting.
Oh, okay. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. It's administrative. I want to recommend that since tomorrow, the scheduled meeting we were supposed to have with DM, instead of us doing our meeting virtually on Thursday, and it's going to go late, you remember our last one, that we actually use the time tomorrow to do our admin meeting. And it doesn't have to be in the morning, Chair, like maybe 12, because we have all allocated. Even MK, they've allocated this day, tomorrow, for the interviews with the Deputy Minister. That's my recommendation. Because those virtual meetings are unnecessary, especially if we are all here in Parliament.
Honorable Nomvalo.
Yeah, Chair, no, we support that proposal by Honorable Mathale that we have already diarised tomorrow for ad hoc committee work. So it's a privilege now that the DM is not coming back. So let's make use of that time, Chair, because I was also a bit worried about the time for Thursday. I think it's too late. 6 o'clock is too late. Our meetings usually take more than 4 hours. So if we start at 6, we might finish at 10. But the only aspect that I would disagree with is starting at 12 o'clock, Chair, because some of us are flying out tomorrow. So if maybe we can start at 10 or 11, that is my suggestion.
Chief Whip.
No, Chair, it's getting complicated now because when we understood that this meeting is ending today with DM Mathale, we also made provisions that in the morning we must proceed with other commitments, including the Chief Whip's Forum. Now, I was comfortable with us meeting in person, but if we can start from around 12 o'clock to give way for the meetings that we had already committed ourselves to in the morning. I don't know whether we can persuade Honorable Nomvalo to take the very last flight or leave on Thursday, if possible. I don't know.
You agree with tomorrow?
I'm fine. I think we can be available tomorrow, but starting from around 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock.
Souls.
We can be available tomorrow.
You are available.
What's that, Chair?
You are available.
Yes, I am.
Honorable Mbangazita.
Although there are committees tomorrow, so I wouldn't mind.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm available only from 1 o'clock because I have a portfolio committee, which is virtual anyway, until 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Honorable James.
Available, Chief.
Dr. Ntuli. Will your technical team be ready for the meeting tomorrow?
Thank you, Chair. I think that is a difficult question for me to answer. But the team is aware in terms of what would then be required, but we're still busy with the presentations. We're hoping that the meeting will take place on Thursday instead of Wednesday. Thank you, Chair.
Will you be ready tomorrow at 1?
Chair, I will have to find out from other colleagues who will be doing the presentations tomorrow. I'm one of them, but my presentation is almost done. But I will have to find out from others who have to present tonight, and then I'll give you the information. Thank you, Chair.
SC will you be ready tomorrow at 1?
Yes, Chair, we would also prefer an in-person day meeting like tomorrow rather than at night on, it would have been on Thursday. So we in the process of compiling a report which you requested for the meeting for Thursday. So we'll just have to speed that up a bit. So if we start, what did you say, 1 o'clock? We should be ready.
Okay. The items that that will come to the meeting are not difficult items. The only item that may be difficult is the item on the public submissions. And this is the item that I want to persuade members that when we call a meeting, it must be the only item on the agenda. Because if you want to discuss over 300 submissions, you discuss them together with other items, we may not do justice. I think what we can agree is that the technical team just gives us a brief tomorrow, and then we agree on a day where we'll come and go through all those submissions one by one. And what they can also do in the period between tomorrow and the next meeting, they can make those submissions available to members to study them, so that when you come to the next meeting, you come there having gone through all those submissions. So for the purpose of tomorrow's meeting, let's have a proposed schedule on the consultations of the witnesses that the committee has agreed on, so that the committee can express itself if it agrees with the proposal, and also have a proposed timetable. Once those consultations are concluded, when do you suggest we can start calling those witnesses? After the 14th of November, when we will be done with the list that we currently have. Remember, the other deputy minister must come, the minister who is currently in office, IDEC, the NPA, are those outstanding witnesses that must come here, including the IGI. I think we'll also receive a report on the IGI tomorrow. So, yeah, I think in that case, we can be done in 2 hours if members agree that we should get time. I mean, also the legal opinion, Honorable Sols. If we can deal with those items tomorrow, and then agree that we need a special day to deal with public submissions. Are we agreeing to what the chair is suggesting?
Agreed.
Agreed. Is there any hand contrary to? Okay. Thank you so much, honorable members. We will start tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Is that fine, Dr. Ntuli?
Yes, Chairperson, it's fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, honorable members. Is the venue here? Yeah, the venue is confirmed. Thank you.